where I'm at. I like how I'm like about to jump into something. All right, so today we're gonna talk about corrective exercise based on certain problems you might be dealing with, like knee pain, ankle pain, hip pain. If you do move in a weird motion, you go click, 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 and like, well, that can't sound right. Like, that's not good. That's not healthy, right? Now, corrective exercise sounds like not fun movement, but I promise you it's actually gonna work really well. Corrective exercise is if I can take you, if I can take where you're currently at, move you in a way that we can solve the problem of that joint, of whatever's causing that pain, correct that during a workout routine using bands or whatever kind of equipment. That is kind of a form of corrective exercise. Think about corrective exercise as if there is a personal trainer here. Alex, make sure there's a personal trainer here. And then there's a physical therapist here, right? Think about the physical therapist is designed to actually fix problems as safely as humanly possible in a clinical environment. Personal trainer, the classical personal trainer is a bit more bro-y, right? It's like big biceps, kind of jacked, not me at all. Someone far bigger. Over here, corrective exercise specialist is like right there in the center, okay? So, with corrective exercise, you're solving for these pain points and problems, but you're still a personal trainer, so you're not giving up on the fitness approach to all this stuff. You still want to get bigger, stronger, faster, right? Meaner, greener, hungrier. I don't know. A mean green fighting machine is one of the things that they say a lot of the Marines. I heard it growing up. My dad would say it. That's a corrective exercise specialist. So when you're solving for why we're important, because that's what I am and my team, is because you want to find a way to essentially solve your problems in any joint, all right, anywhere, without actually going to a clinical practice and solving the problems. You just want to solve the problem before it becomes worse and still hit your fitness goals, right? Still lose your weight, still gain your muscle mass, still gain that increased performance. So that's kind of where we sit. It's a far more efficient way to approach things. Don't wait until something breaks or tears, right? But also don't ignore pain in certain spots of the body, right? Solve for both. And that's why we've been so successful with our studio space and our trainers and our clientele. Now, the people who will benefit from corrective exercise specialists are the ones who are going to essentially not have a lot of time on their hands, deal with pain points. Let's say you have kids, you're a firm partner, a business management consultant partner, maybe you run a company. You don't have a lot of time on your hands. You have to get through the day, but you also don't want to deal with the pain, and you also want more energy, and you want weight loss, and you want to gain muscle, and there's just all the things. That's when you go corrective exercise specialist, right? It's like knock out 2 hours a week, get it still with the problems, increase your energy, get better sleep, right? All those things. So those people that's where you want to go in that situation. The things we're going to do when you start working with one are everything we preach here at RX Fits. So you have mobility, stability, strength, power, and endurance. What we do is when you do stability, you essentially want to, I don't want to go through all these, because I talk about these a lot in my transformation program, but you essentially want to go through the motions and see how my hand shakes just a little bit right there? That's because using a band is unstable. There's not an equal amount of distribution between this side and this side pulling, so my arms are going to have to stabilize that tension, essentially that force. Why that's important is because both sides of my arm, actually all the sides, are getting worked essentially, right? The neuromuscular activation is happening, is what we refer to it as. And that's the stability part, is I'm stabilizing the arm, the joint, whatever I'm trying to fix. I want to stabilize it. I also want to increase the mobility of it. So if I do have, we just took a picture of this actually. If I do have a shoulder problem, I'm gonna put my hands in here, I'm gonna do an anterior bend and stretch. See, look at how far my arms can go. Now that's going how far you can go, that's flexibility. But doing it under a lot of tension, like this, that's mobility. Increasing your range of motion under tension. So that's mobility. And we will work on that as well in every range. As you can tell, that's hard for me. I'm still building my shoulders. I'm still getting stronger, which brings me to my third point, strength. Placing force on the muscle in order to correct the problem. So now, let's say I have that shoulder problem, and it's mostly because my shoulder is sitting forward a little bit more and causing an impingement in the front of my shoulder. Well, I want to build the backside to help pull my shoulder here. How to do that? I grab something like a band or a weight. I like to use the band just because it's very malleable. I can do a lot of things with it. But you can use any form of equipment that applies force to that muscle, like a dumbbell, kettlebell, barbell, all kinds of stuff. So lean forward, and then I would pull back because I'm trying to build the backside of my shoulder and my scapula, so that way, if they get strong enough, when I'm just standing here, my shoulders will want to sit back like this and not forward, so that it doesn't squeeze on the nerve, the auxiliary nerve running through my arm, doesn't cause that pain, right? So that's the third. The fourth is power. So now, you have to develop the first three if you want to get to the fourth one, by the way, because if you do power before you do the first three, it will make the impingement worse. So now that I've stabilized, I've mobilized, I've increased the strength of the muscles in the area to correct that shoulder position, now what I'm trying to do is increase how fast I can increase that force, right? It's explosive movements, it's plyo. So here, and then I'm going to there, and then slowly come back here. Think about like a box jump too. It's the same concept here, and then pull back. And I'm to keep doing that to build that muscle so I can, it's not just here, it has to have enough force, tensile strength to sit here comfortably for long periods of time, because that's what power does. Power helps build the endurance aspect of that muscle very quickly. You can train it very quickly. Speaking of endurance, now the last thing you have is endurance, which is how long it takes to essentially metabolically consume all the ATP in the muscle. And that's just fancy talk for how much energy does the muscle have, right? Like how long can I run? How long can I do a push-up? How long can I do an easy push-up, like against the bar? It's just how long can I do things, right? Endurance, how long can you endure, right? It's very basic. It has to do with a lot with like glucose and ATP metabolism and whatnot. But the important thing is for corrective exercise is that if you ever try to sit in proper posture and you're like, after a while you just start doing this, like, maybe, what if we increase the endurance of those muscles, right? Make them last longer. So you do this, maybe even this, walk around like that, right? That's a good look. So you want to pull your shoulders back, hold there, make sure those muscles are flexed and engaged. They have mobility. You have mobility here, so your shoulders can go back. You have stability, so you're using all the muscles in the area to contract to help together to stabilize the area. You have strength, so you have the power, the strength, the amount of force placed on the muscle, pull backwards. And then you have the amount of power to forcefully hold it there, essentially. It's more of an athletic capability. And then endurance is the last one to sustain over long periods of time, right? And essentially, we use the same 5 modalities that we would use to help somebody lose weight, the same 5 modalities that would help them become more athletic or increase muscle mass. The same thing, we're just tweaking it. And that's what makes a corrective exercise specialist so special. So it's been a pleasure providing this information for you. Do not forget to go down and subscribe. Ring the bell if you've already subscribed for the notifications. I gotta get a real bell. I cannot wait. And other than that, stick around. We have a lot more for you. Also, I forgot, we are starting to recently talk about our fitness armory. So go to the site. There will be all the stuff that you need that we talk about here regularly, the BMR calculator. We're talking about the 5-minute moves. As long as you join our email list, you'll get all that for free. We have options you can join for the 12-week program as well to basically essentially certify yourself as a personal trainer. All that stuff is available to you. Just go to the link to the spot that is somewhere on this page. It's like, where's Waldo? Thanks, guys. See y'all later. Specialist.